Hi, I'm so excited to do this session with my friend here, Leslie Hill. And we're going to be talking about how to look and be confident, specifically on a video call. I think there's a whole new area, Leslie, on this idea of executive online presence that we're just tapping into, and we're going to give some power tips today. You ready to rock it?
I am.
Awesome. All right. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks that are online with us today?
Okay, great. Well, I'm Leslie Hill. Just like Alyssa said, I am the owner of RidMe, which is an app that connects you and provides confidence when you're getting dressed at the time you're getting dressed. My background is I was a fashion designer for 15 years and an image consultant for 7, and now I am here with you today.
We're so lucky. I'm so excited. I got goosebumps thinking about some of the stuff we're going to talk about. My name, again, is Alyssa Dver, and I am the Chief Confidence Officer for American Confidence Institute. I'm going to give you some information at the very end about what we do, but I am in the business of giving people confidence using brain science. But today, we are going to talk about really how to project this online. And, I find both as a user of video calls constantly. I mean, I've been doing it for, 10, 15 years where I'm on a conference call, Leslie, you too, right? Like 5, 6 times a day.
Yep.
And now even more. But I also use video to teach, and I do a lot of virtual classes and workshops. And there's some things that it's just kind of very obvious to me at this point why video wakes us out, but I don't think most people realize this. Of course, we worry about how we look and sound, right? And that's your whole business, is helping people look and sound better, right? In public and otherwise. But the video kind of focuses on it, right? It highlights, it showcases. You don't have all the other extraneous stuff going on. So people are wigged out, right? I mean,
Most definitely. I think maybe even so much that they don't want to record one at all.
Right, exactly. They don't want to get on. And we're going to definitely get people into a comfort zone today. The other side of it is that they don't, we can see and we can hear confidence. And, I'm going to talk about this a little bit as we get deeper into some of our tips, but we intuitively know ourselves. And so we know people are being able to see it in ourselves, that we can see confidence through our eyes, we hear it through our ears. So we know we're being judged, and at the same time, we want to project that executive presence. So let's get into some of the basic tips, shall we? And some of these may be very intuitive to people, but I think, Leslie, we got to cover some of them. So I'm going to turn it over to you for the first set.
Okay. So the very beginning is we want to eliminate sound. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a call and I hear someone's TV going or their Pandora in the background, and then I can't hear what they're saying.
That's right.
So
you know what? Even for today, I had to remind myself to unplug the extra phones in my office, and there's certain sounds that you can control and certain sounds, like maybe the dog barking or whatever, especially today. Some of us are working in our kitchens. It is what it is, right? But where you can, absolutely.
Now I'm going to kind of combine the next 3. So we're going to talk about decluttering our background. We're going to talk about lighting. And then we're also going to talk about camera angle. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. This one you can see I'm very well lit. I am completely head on, and you can see that I'm basically decluttered. You can see books, but it's not really distracting. However, I'm going to move around my room for a minute. Now, what happens when I go here?
Yes. Oh, I can barely even see you, and the stuff that I see, I want to know what it is.
Yes. And then you're right. You're not looking at what I'm talking about. You're looking at my Han Solo behind me.
Han Solo, yeah. You got some kind of an airplane thing going on and stuffed animals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now if we put the light behind us, you can't see us at all.
You look like one of those interviews where people don't want to be identified.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing is we get really worried about our double chin when we're on here. But if you realize no one else notices it but us, but if I were to spend the entire time talking to you like this, you would be so distracted, you wouldn't hear anything I was saying.
Those are great suggestions. And some of them are just so easy. So when you said decent light, it's not even like you have to go out and get professional lighting. You probably can't, especially again, if you're working in your kitchen. So any particular things in decent light, natural light, artificial, what do you think?
Oh, natural light is the best. It's going to give us natural highlights on our skin. And yeah, it's the best. Don't even spend money on
I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to throw some other basics into the mix here. And the first thing is to look into the camera. This is really hard. Right now, as an example, I'm looking at the camera, but Leslee in my face, so when I'm going to talk to Leslee, she's over here, and it makes it really distracting. But in order to really have that engagement with whoever you're talking to, you have to imagine that they're actually in the camera. And, you know, you can move your pictures over, your snapshots if you want to. I don't want to do it here because if I do it, then the recording is going to cover our slides. So needless to say, move the pictures over so you're looking at the person in the camera. And sit up. Yeah, mom was right. You know, here's the thing. Sitting up not only is good for your posture, your pecs and all that, pecs, your abs, maybe your pecs too, what do I know? But, you know, there is neurological proof. Watch Amy Cuddy's TED Talk. If you're familiar with her power poses, she explains exactly all the neurotransmission that happens just from sitting up straight. But here's the thing. When you're sitting up straight, you're looking in the camera, it actually makes other people see you as confident. I start to sit like this, right? You can just see the difference. Even on that little headshot, it's like, you know, I'm not sitting up. So that sitting up, get something to prop you in the back if you need to. Some people love those posture balls. All good. Whatever works for you, just set up. Practice your tech. I think the people that like kind of lose their cool the most are the ones who are fidgeting around with the tech, and something inevitably goes wrong. They don't know how to log on, their sound, whatever. If you have an important call, get on in advance, play with the tech, make sure you know the buttons and where things are. And so, you know, something as simple as that can really give you confidence and then show up as confident. Now, the last one, Leslee, this is my favorite because it kind of dips into your world. But I got my sidekick, not my sidekick. Sidekick. I got stuff. So I've got a little bit of my makeup stuff going on. I've got my little kit here with my little, you know, mirror brush, some other things going on, like a lipstick, of course. And my favorite accessory, ta-da, is the pick.
The pick.
You never know when there's garbage in your teeth, right? So, you know, I need to have these things. I also have a big old box of things for my glasses because these are inevitably filthy. And, you know, somebody calls and says, let's do a video call. I can be ready without having to run, you know, the other side of the room, but I can be ready and polished within a few minutes. So I love that. And one of the things that you and I have talked about in the past is the importance of color, right? Of where
yes.
And I'm going to get into color in a minute, but, you know, here's one of my special secrets. And I love to share this with people, is that there's some days that I just don't feel like putting on color. You know, I'm wearing my purple today because I know I'm talking to my girl, Leslee. But, you know, some days I'm in gray or a sweatshirt or whatever. So I got my little handy dandy scarf here. I keep it in my office. And this way, in an emergency, ta-da! Hi.
Yes. Oh, and that's such a good color. And it's usually a good color on most people. So think turquoise. That's great.
Yeah. So I'm going to flip it back to you because you got some amazing power dress and makeup and all kinds of really cool tips. Let's get into how to really come prepared and look confident when you have the opportunity to actually have more than a minute.
Yes. And I do think one thing I want to point out right away is this, these tips aren't about trying to exude this perfect lifestyle that you have just because you're on camera. We still want to see your authenticity. This is just, if you think of you're walking on a beach, you don't look at every single stone that's there. You pick up the ones that are special. So we are just kind of polishing your exterior so that your message is actually received. So when we're thinking about clothing, we're talking about purple and color, we, you know, usually don't think of these kind of things if we're just going to throw on a hoodie or a t-shirt. So we want to start off looking professional. We've spent all these years creating this persona of credibility, professionalism, confidence, being an expert in your field. We don't want to just throw that all out the window because we're working from home. So think before you put something on and try to go for professional first.
Even if it's waist up.
Exactly. We want you to wear some pants. However, I don't care what they look like.
Yeah,
we're talking here up.
Yep.
So we're professional. Now we're getting into color. So Alyssa was talking about that purple on her. You can see I'm wearing green. we want to make sure that the colors that we have on are kind of drawing you in. So it's all working together. If we throw on black, it really throws off the balance in the camera. And so now you're just kind of a floating head on the screen. You're a bobblehead. We don't want that. If you are wearing white, again, that's going to really play with the colors on the screen. You see how that automatically started getting bright? You might get a glowing factor. So think color that works with you. Wear the same color of your eyes. You can't go wrong.
Oh, I love it.
Now, when we're talking about patterns or solids, here is a fun little tip. Polka dots have been in recently and they're really fun. However, on camera, they tend to be little Pac-Men. And they're racing around the screen trying to eat something and no one's listening to you.
Not enough caffeine in the world for me to look at that. Wow.
Now, this is one of my favorites, especially for men because they tend to wear stripes more than women do. You can find, I don't know if you can see this, but the stripes on camera really start moving. And so again, no one's listening to you. They're watching the TV screen as little things run around the camera.
A little hypnotic. I could almost like go into a trance. Yeah.
Yeah. So just go solid and wear a good color for you. Now, the next one is accessories. I love accessories. If you've ever heard me speak, I talk a lot about, counting the number of items you have on. Usually a 10 is good, 7 for men, maybe 15 for women. But you start counting your earrings separately, your bra, your undershirt, all these things, right? On camera, it's different. We want them to focus on your face, on your words. So we're going to eliminate as much accessories as possible. I have earrings on and even those can be distracting. And I wear these in particular because I'm on the news a lot and I move my head. And so you get this going on, these little dog ears. Now, another part of accessories are glasses. And Alyssa, you brought this up for a minute. We want to make sure they're clean. These are my daughter's play glasses, so they are extremely touched right now. But do you see how the light is reflected now? So this is what happens when you use a ring light and you have glasses on. And of course, nobody's listening to anything I'm saying. But then if I go out of that, and if we had the blue screen up, right now it's purple back here, but if it was blue, you'd have these it'd be like a blue monster sometimes. So if at all possible, if it's kind of a big presentation, try to wear your contacts and just eliminate the glasses. Other than that, just be cognizant that you might have these rings showing.
Right. And at least make sure you got your box of wipes or something to clean those suckers, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
all right,
now we've moved on from accessories and clothing, makeup. Makeup is not essential for everyone. But if people are used to seeing you in the office, please wear it on screen because it's going to be another distraction. They're used to seeing you made up and now all of a sudden you're not looking like you typically do. Yeah. So if you wear it all the time, wear it. And then hair care. This kind of goes back to that professionalism. Now we're all dying, wondering when we can get back into the hairdresser. I know we all are. Believe me, I talk to them all the time. They're worried about it too. But try to make sure that at least that your hair is groomed, it's out of your face, people can hear you and see you. Don't worry so much about the color right now. It's not going to reflect the same as it would in person anyway, but don't just roll out of bed. So gentlemen, what happens is we've just gotten out of bed, we're going to jump on this call, we see these people all the time, I'm just going to throw on a hat. Well, again, there goes those adjectives, those credibility, the professionalism right out the window. So just take those few minutes to prepare. And those are just really those basic tips that I would love to share with you. And Alyssa, I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about being confident.
Well, here's the thing. And these are such really important, relatively really easy things, right? I mean, hair is probably the hardest right now because a little gray, a little long, but you know what? Here's the thing. I say to people all the time, you cannot fake till you make it. You can't look confident if you're not feeling confident. So I want to share some really power tips here. And Leslie, you know, I could talk about confidence for 3 days, and I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to kind of bottom line it. Everything that we do at the Institute is brain science based. And so one of the things that I find fascinating is when you really understand the way the brain works, there's something that is so fundamentally important to the way we think and we behave in the brain. And that is this, that in order to be confident, giving other people confidence actually makes you feel and look and be more confident. It's a kind of a funny paradox there. Now, how do you do that? And I gave you the secret right there in gold, and I call it the confidence golden rule for this reason. If you want to give other people confidence and you want to kind of absorb it yourself, you have to recognize that we all want to matter. Now, what does that really boil down to? It means that if I make you feel that I'm excited to be here, I'm excited that you're here, and I'm excited that we're here together, just saying that, doesn't that make you feel good? Doesn't that make you feel like, oh, it's worthwhile to be here? Alyssa cares about me. She cares that she's here too. There's that whole transference of confidence. And we don't do that enough in person, and we certainly don't do it online. So I want to give some tips on how to do that specifically. The first one is this. We talked about optics with Leslie, all those great ideas to make people literally look better on camera. But the real optic here is what you can control in here, what you control in here, and what you control in your energy. Because I can say and do anything online, I can be all coiffed and all, but if I'm not looking at you with that I'm excited to be here attitude and message and smiling at you, doesn't matter what I'm wearing. Doesn't matter how good I look. So we want to be welcoming. We want to really transfer. There is more that you transfer here than you transfer here. So looking at somebody, welcoming them in with your eyes, smiling, being comfortable in your skin, so to speak, as people say, all comes through that facial transference. The second I call tuck and roll. Now, Leslie, you talked about turning off noise, right?
Yes.
Here's the problem. And again, this is a neuroscience-based tip, as usual, coming out of my mouth, is that when we get distracted, we get a little notification pinging across the screen, or our phones, right, are pinging. Not only is it a little rude for me all of a sudden to be looking away, dealing with it, but my brain has to switch. There's no such thing as multiprocessing. Sorry, doesn't exist. Our brain actually has to switch into gear to look at that, and then we can come back. But the reality is we've broken that flow. We've broken that kind of almost trust with somebody. So it's not just rude, because it is rude to the other person, but it distracts you, and it really kind of kiboshes your confidence. Now, with that said, there are distractions and there are distractions, right? There's the notifications we can turn off. There's the phone I mentioned we can turn off. But you know what? Even before, I heard one of my kids running up the stairs. There's only so much we can do, especially right now. The dog's going to come through. My son was on a call yesterday. He said somebody's cat kept walking across the keyboard. It is what it is. But when those things happen, to not get all like, just be like, that's going to happen. It happens. It happens to you. It happens to somebody else. I was on a call the other day and my dog barked and I could just see the other person be like, oh, I was like, really? Like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
So we have to be a little forgiving in general, but particularly right now. So tuck and roll. There we go. Number 3, I mentioned that what comes out of here is more important than what comes out of here for your giving of information. But let me tell you another little secret. What you do with these little puppies here says the most about you. So in other words, if you're listening to somebody, you're giving them your full attention, that is the most powerful way for you to be confident and, of course, give them confidence. And you notice here, active and interactive. Active listening means you're not planning your next sentence. In other words, I'm listening to Leslie or whoever's talking to me, and I'm really focused on what they're saying, not what I want to say afterwards.
And that can be so hard.
Isn't that the worst? Like, you can see people, you can just see it in their mind. They're like, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What am I going to say? So stop that. Listen to the person. If you need to take an extra second or two to think and really respond, then do that. And interactivity. this is a hard medium. And even like we're doing this now, Leslie, like it's nice to have a partner to talk to, because sometimes you're on a call and people are just spewing, right? They're just talking at you. I was on a demo the other day, a software demo, and the guy just talked for like 35 minutes. And every time I wanted to ask a question, he got oh, let me finish.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll talk another day on how to give a better demo. But you know what? You got to have interaction with people in general. Like I'm on a stage. I don't care. I'm interacting with people. I'm here. You got to interact. It's worse online. People are distracted. They do have their phones. They have other things. So, having the conversation. Yeah.
No, completely. Yes.
Right. I hate that. So build in some interaction and ask people their opinion, ask them to respond. Just did that to Leslie just to make sure she's still with me, kind of thing. Right. There you go.
True. It's true.
All right. And my last one, here we go. Brain science at its best. I'm going to give you the most silly, but the most powerful tip that I have. You ready?
I'm ready.
It's called the power. Oh, yeah. Power of the pen. So here's the thing. If I'm looking at you, I'm having this conversation, Leslie, we're talking, and all of a sudden I do this. I look down. You go to that place of, she must be
bored.
Right. I'm not important anymore to Alyssa. She's looking at her phone.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the way we fix that. A, try not to look in front, of course, but have a pen. Do this every now and then so that Leslie knows, and anyone else you're talking to, that you're actually listening to them and writing. So when I go down here, now you assume I'm writing something that you said that was important. I'm taking notes. And taking notes means that what you said matters to me.
Oh, that is so good. I love that.
I could still be looking at my phone. And
but I would never.
If I really need to look at my phone, something I see flinging, I will do that. I'll go, oh, that's a good point. And then I grab my phone. But you don't know that. You think I'm writing.
Yes.
Great.
And then it doesn't throw off my confidence.
It's awesome. So it's proof that what you are saying, the other person's saying, matters to you, that you're taking notes. And again, it gives you a little bit of that ability if you do need to be distracted. People don't think so. Yeah. There you go. So we've kind of power tipped people on this online executive presence business, but I want to give them a sense of how they can learn even more from you. And then I'll give them a little bit about what we're up to at the Institute. So Leslie, tell them about this amazing website that you have and some of the great tools and content you provide.
Yeah. So again, RidMe is a tool to help you find confidence through your appearance. And it happens constantly where we go and we stand in front of our closets and we feel like we have nothing to wear, but we see an entire closet full of clothes. So this is an opportunity for you to take webinars. We have Alyssa connected through the Confidence Institute. I'm so excited. We have other mental health providers. We have image consultants and certifications that you can take on here. And these are just webinars. But then we also will have another app coming out in June that will connect you at the time you're getting dressed to an image consultant. So you don't have to go buy something new. It's something that you already have in your closet. You just need to know if you're wearing it the right way.
Oh, it's so cool. So cool. You know what? Anyone who's out there as a speaker, you got to use this. You got to take a picture of your outfit before you go on that stage, well, a day before you go at least. This is so awesome, Leslie. I'm so excited about it. So
thanks, me too.
Oh my God, it's the best. I mean, weddings or bar mitzvahs, wherever you go, snap that picture.
First date. Yeah, we got you.
Interviews. Oh, rocket. It's going to be so amazing for anyone who does this. I mean, just do it. On the Institute side, we got a lot going on always. And I'm so psyched because my 7th book is about to hit the public mainstream and it's been endorsed. I'm so psyched about it by some of the most impressive people at Harvard and Yale and Wharton and MIT and UC Berkeley. So there's a picture of the cover. Confidence is a choice. By the time you're reading this, it may already be out. The official launch date is in May 8th, and we're going to be doing a pre-release. So definitely grab a seat on the website mailing list and you'll be informed. But in the meantime, if you're interested, we do a whole lot of stuff online, keynotes, in fact, even in workshops. I'm doing a ton of those. But we have the confidence quotient assessment you can take. It's a 20-minute quickie tool that will tell you where your confidence is and what's driving it versus what's holding it back. We have some e-classes, and our coaching certification for anyone, not just somebody who wants to do coaching, is all online, has been for the last 5 years. So check it out. And of course, there's all kinds of free resource products, podcasts, blogs, and so forth. So I'd love you to check out what's there. Leslee, your email's there. My email's there. We would love to hear from folks on what's working for them, what their challenges are. Any last comments, any last suggestions you'd like to throw in before we turn this into a done deal?
That's right. You know, the only thing I want to say is I actually took a confidence course with Alyssa, and it was a few years ago, and it was amazing. And that's how we got reconnected. And so definitely, I think the two of us are here to help you utilize this as much as you can, and let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.